Welcome to today's session and thanks for joining. In these live sessions, I demonstrate a technique for swing trading profitably in any market condition by taking only high probability and low risk 360 degrees trades. Today I am streaming with some constraints. Firstly, I couldn't find time to prepare ahead of the live session, so I don't have a PowerPoint slide deck, which is not a bad thing. We'll look at the market together using live systems. I just hope I'll not mess things up while switching between different applications. And the other constraint is I'm only able to run it from my laptop with another portable monitor. So I have to switch back and forth between many programs on the portable monitor that I'm not sharing. I'm sharing the systems that I want to show, but on the other monitor I have to juggle between YouTube, the streaming software, PowerPoint presentation, audio control, everything on a small monitor. So let's see how I can manage that. I'm used to do the streaming with multiple monitors, but today I don't have access to those. Let's try. Greetings, I'm Sagar Nandi, retired IT professional, swing trading stocks in the USA and global markets using a single queue trading system that I developed myself. This is my email ID and the different channels where I share my live market and stock analysis. Disclaimer, this demonstration is for educational purposes only. I am not an investment advisor. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk. You and only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. Options trading can be risky. You may refer to the characteristics and risks of standardized options document from OCC to decide if options trading is suitable for you. Q runs on Metastock and registration platforms. It has multiple components. I'll use several of them today. Instruments that often move the market. Let's go to the live systems. One instrument that I check regularly is the dollar index to see how it is moving. Dollar index is in a downtrend, has only trend line resistance, has lower high and lower low. It fell sharply in this leg and now it is consolidating sideways. It is too oversold, but of course there is no buy signal. If it goes up from here, it may put pressure on the market. If it breaks down from the narrow range, the next support is some distance away. If it can break down, that may help the market, though the inverse correlation does not always work. Let's look at the other market level instrument that I look at every day, that is the Mega Cap Custom Index. I'm going to drag it to this monitor, presentation monitor. When I'm looking at this market level analytics, what I'm trying to do is to decide my preferred trading direction. I look at multiple angles and make a final conclusion. Here I see something little bit encouraging. After the sharp drop in Megacap Custom Index, which incidentally started after the unique bearish headwind reversal signal that came at the top, now we have two successive weeks with bullish indecision at the low. The color of the candle is still bearish, but I take indecision cluster seriously. At the low, it tells it is more likely to go up than down. In the daily, first thing I notice is that it came to the trend line support. They are tough nuts to crack. Stopped there, moved sideways with a slightly upward slope, and as of Friday's close, it did two things. It broke out of the trend line resistance. Therefore, you may say it broke out of the triangle pattern, and it closed with a bullish color candle. If you look at the relative performance line, it shows that it is outperforming the market, and all those are happening after jump thrust low hit extreme low. That was an unsustainable down move. Conclusion: this allows buying. Mega caps have tremendous influence on the market, therefore this allows buying. I may look into mega cap stocks, but I may also look at QQQ constituents, because QQQ is tremendously influenced by the mega caps. Next, market level analytics comes from market breadth internal health check. Usually the market follows the internal health, not the other way around. To save time, today's will be a shortened session probably. I may not look at all the market internal health charts. Let's look at the most important of them and the broadest of them. Market breadth total view. It had the Hindenburg omens, series of them, then it fell sharply. It also had lot of baby out with bathwater signal, bingo signal, that is panic selling. It stopped after the extremely useful oscillator 3-month new high low hit the extreme oversold level, and which is much more rare than that is that the percentage of stocks above 50-day moving average also hit the extremely oversold level. I had indicated these two oversold indicators at that point of time, and I was expecting the market to go up, but it didn't go up. Instead, it went up little bit, and if you see last 5 days, 1 2 3 4 5, it practically moved sideways. Something encouraging is here also, that is we have 2 days of Eureka, thanks to Mr. Ian Woodward, the same gentleman who invented the bingo signals. May him rest in peace. We had Eureka days, buying days at a low price level, and also large accumulation days, large enough to take them seriously. And it is also encouraging to see that after that, after the two Eureka and accumulation days, though price came down little bit, did not take out the low of the first accumulation count days. That is encouraging. Therefore, if it goes up from here, this also will allow me to buy, but not as of Friday's close. And if I look at the same total view using at a glance weekly daily view, I'll have to keep on dragging the charts to this monitor. The only encouraging signal I find here is the bullish headwind. And we saw already after these two Eureka days, it's moving sideways, did not take out the low of the pre-Eureka day. Weekly, however, is not allowing buying. So at a glance of total view says that it is of course too late to short. It has hit extreme oversold condition in jump thrust low, but the bullish headwind day came with big move up 3. Well, then when I noticed that after jump thrust low we have big move up 3 day, that means some bigger players stepped in to the rapid falling and paused the sharp drop. So that is encouraging. Now I can conclude that if it goes up next week, I'll be happy to buy. And there will be plenty of nice fundamental stocks in strong industries with low risk buy setups if that happens, if market goes up next week. Notice also this Friday market went up. This is the broadest view of the market, and as I showed in the last market recap, this is happening for several weeks. In fact, it happened for 3 weeks in a row now, that though Friday was up day, we can see in the weekly chart, the weekly candle has not turned bullish. So this Friday once again is up day, but that does not mean next week we'll have a bullish candle in weekly. So I'm cautious. That is one reason I did not buy again on Friday. I'll have to watch how the market moves next week before buying. But there are extremely oversold conditions. There are Eureka signals. There is big move of 3. There is accumulation count. So I am getting ready to buy more and more, getting ready more and more. I will drill down into the composites from the total view to once again show where the useful signals came from. The bingo, the panic selling was happening in Nasdaq. You don't see any panic selling in NYSE. The Eureka came in both Nasdaq and NYSE, and the accumulation count came in NYSE. Hindenburg prior to that came in both. So looking at all these signals, I can conclude that NYSE is stronger than Nasdaq, though mega caps are stronger overall. So I may look to buy either mega caps or NYSE stocks. General tech stocks, I am not happy to buy, not as of yet, but next week that may change. The general tech stocks, Nasdaq stocks may start to outperform next week, and if it happens, I'll come to know immediately, and I don't mind the oversold stocks if their fundamentals are strong. We'll try to find some buying candidates like that today, though I would not suggest buying on Friday, and I did not buy anything on Friday. Here the conclusion is buying is again possible provided market goes up next week. I'll not go through the major indexes. There was no additional signal to be read from there. And I'm trying to manage my presentation with only 2 monitors. Let's instead move to next part. That is the external view of the market. That is how most people around the globe see. They don't see the internal view, not at the detail that Q Global shows. So let's look at the market ETFs. SPY. One encouraging thing once again is the bullish indecision cluster at the bottom. I always take them seriously. Daily here again has the encouraging bullish headwind signal, which came after jump thrust low, unsustainable low move, unsustainable down move, and after that big move up 3 also came. So if price goes up next week, it will also go up from the white direction line. Incidentally, it regained the white direction line. In the last market recap, I showed that mega cap custom index was the only market level instrument that was holding the white direction line. And now I see that SPY also regained the white direction line. That is encouraging. So market is becoming less and less bearish. Of course, it is not bullish yet. Weekly shows that, but it is becoming less and less bearish, and it is extremely oversold, was extremely oversold. That oversold condition is going away, so I'm getting more ready to buy. Let's look at QQQ, heavily influenced by mega caps. So on Friday, we have a bullish candle and it successfully broke out of the trendline resistance. That is good. It was at unsustainable down move, jump thrust low, and it also showed a big move up 3. Some big players stepped in to buy at extreme low level. Weekly once again has the encouraging bullish indecision cluster, and this has actually broken out, probably influenced more by mega caps. That's why the breakout happened. And looking at that, I don't mind checking some QQQ constituent stock for low risk buy setup. Dia, by the way, I just moved on to Dia, but I noticed, and let me go back, QQQ did not yet regain the white direction line. So I am looking at all these signals and trying to decide where to buy. When I saw that this white direction line is not regained yet in QQQ, now I am less reluctant to buy QQQ constituents. So my conclusion so far is either buy NYC stocks, which are kind of S&P 500 stocks, not tech stocks, and can buy mega caps as well. Let's see Dia. Dia also regained the white direction line. In fact, it created a false upside breakout like some other instruments, that is false downside breakout, which is actually more bullish. So in that way, I am also more willing to buy Dia constituents than QQQ constituents. However, weekly here also is remaining bearish. It was at jump thrust low. That was an unsustainable down move. If it goes up from here, I don't mind buying. And lastly, Russell 2000 ETF IWM. Well, it was the weakest of the market ETFs, and it is, but it also came to jump thrust low, unsustainable down move, and also already displayed the big move of 3. Some big players stepped in. However, even if it goes up from here, it is looking less promising to me because of many resistances coming ahead. So far my conclusion is either go for mega caps or go for NYC stocks or S&P 500 or Dia constituent stocks. Let's continue the analysis at market level to see what more insights can we gather. Bucket analysis from QH pinpoints reversal points with remarkable accuracy, and I make money from this analysis all the time when it hits the overbought oversold situation. Thanks to Dr. Jeffrey Scott, after watching whose videos I incorporated in QH, and that bucket analysis is now not oversold at all. And if you see my previous market recap videos, right when it hit the extreme oversold situation, I said that it was time to stop shorting and look to buy extremely oversold stocks that were below lower Bollinger Band. And notice now the percentage of stocks below lower Bollinger Band is extremely low. No signal from there, and of course there are not many stocks above upper Bollinger Band. Overall it is still bearish. So if the market goes up now, 69% stocks are below mid Bollinger Band, bearish market, it will be an up move in a downtrend, recovery in a downtrend. It will not be an up move in an uptrend. That is to be kept in mind. Why that is to be kept in mind? We may find appropriate trade setups like headwind setups, bounce or box reversal kind of setups instead of trend following trades like flow and pullback. Next, sector industry stock breadth. This view shows where the market came from, where it is now and where it may go next. Also from QH. Long term 1 month view. bearish. Immediately the color codes show that 10-day long-term view is also bearish. 5-day is actually bullish, though today and 1-day weakened again. Therefore, from this pattern, I conclude that if next Monday turns bullish, Monday or Tuesday, and the up move sustains, I wouldn't mind looking for buy candidates. Yes, I just wanted to make sure I have the up-to-date data. I have. That is my conclusion. The weekly is actually bullish. Okay, that's good to know. Internal analysis is saying weekly is bullish. Let's see if that is true for the next market level analysis, that is technical breadth from QFinder. Weekly picture, it was very bearish earlier. Now it is slightly bullish. That's good to see. Bearishness reduced. It became neutral, you may say, slightly more bullish than bearish. Strength signals are still less bullish, but trend continuation is more bullish. There are some reversals, 50-50. And Friday's market, Friday was not very strong market. We saw that in Q edge also. Though secondary stock breadth was bullish for the whole week, 5 days, Friday was bearish. That is reflected in QFinder also. Friday, the technical breadth overall is bearish, though there are some bullish trades as well. Market level summary, the most important trading decision is whether and where to buy or short, or whether to stand aside. Going by past 3 weeks market move, that Friday was bullish, and if we look back 3 weeks, the first 2 weeks from today, looking back 3 weeks now, first 2 weeks from today, Friday was bullish, but next week was very bearish, and this week it changed somewhat. Friday was bullish and this week is somewhat neutral. So that is good to see. The bearishness is reducing, but it didn't turn bullish the weekly, neither the candle pattern in the market ETFs nor the breadth signals from multiple dimensions. So I am very cautious about buying. I am buying some stocks, but I am closing them. I am not holding them for a longer period. And for me, longer period is not very long, as you know. I am more used to swing trading than long-term holding. But I have shortened the duration and I'm taking more bullish trades than bearish trades. I will wait to see how the market moves, but I am getting more and more ready to buy. So what kind of stocks we may try to buy? Mega caps is one clear pocket. Another is S&P 500 stocks, or we may also look for strong fundamental stocks, like stocks where we have both undervaluation and high earnings growth, stocks in strong industry, preferably an industry that was up on Friday. Even though the market was bearish on Friday, there may be some industries that were up and relatively strong also on Friday. Industry like that stock, to be on the safe side, not only high growth, not only undervalued, but both of them, and with a low risk technical setup that is mandatory for all Q trades, 360 degrees trades. I may look to buy such stocks. Didn't buy anything on Friday, but we'll try to find a stock like that. Review of last week's trade ideas. I didn't share any trade idea as such last week, but I did share Google. And why did I share Google? Let's look at that. That was the only mega cap, and I checked again today when I was having a discussion with a gentleman from the USA trader, and we looked at some mega caps. That mega cap is still the only one which has both fund accumulation as well as insider buying, and that was the stock I shared last week. That was Google. Let's look at the Q Vital scorecard again. Only mega cap that has fund accumulation and insider buying, and it happens to be a box stock. And Mr. Ian Woodward suggested looking for box stocks going up, may go up before the market starts to go up from a very low price. So this fits that bill also. It's a nice box stock. Let's see the peer stocks. Majority of peers went up on Friday. That is good. And if I look at the relative industry scorecard from QEdge, did I choose the right stock? Yes, okay. Yes, that's nice to see. It's one of the strongest industries now, Google's industry, interactive media services, and it is an up industry. So that is all good, but let's look at the technicals then. That was my stock that I shared. I didn't share it as a buy idea because I said it could be bought if what? Let's look at the historical trend lines. I'll change the chart template. If this trend line resistance was broken, it had a nice trend line support, multiple of them, it had a trend line resistance. Last week we were here, and I said if the trend line resistance is broken, looking at the fundamentals, looking at the industry score and the insider buying and the fund accumulation, it would be a nice buy candidate at a low price level. It did not break the trendline resistance immediately. Instead, it fell sharply first 2 days of the week. But then it regained the trendline support, which is even better. A false downside breakout is a more bullish signal than a stock just going up from the trendline support, because this false breakdown shook out the weak hands, but it regained. So somebody again bought, somebody bigger player. Buying is required to stop such a down move. So it is looking more bullish than when I shared it last week. And if I look at the weekly daily now, it's nice to see that tough nuts to crack memory trendline support was regained as well. It was not broken. And I already pointed to the cluster of bullish headwinds coming earlier. Some more came this week. One more came this week. That is also promising. It was already at a jump thrust low that was unsustainable down move. So weekly daily together is telling me to get ready to buy. Market level I am still not convinced, but mega caps did well and Google is the best mega cap probably from multiple angles, insider buying, fund accumulation including. So that was my last week's stock thought, not a trade setup. Google doesn't have a trade setup again this week, but looking at weekly daily, I wouldn't mind buying it using precision entry chart next week. And you know how I time it. I look at the market percentage chart. There I can see if mega caps are outperforming. If they are outperforming, I can see if Google is starting to go up. And if I did that, I could buy Google right when it broke out of the early range. I did not trade Google, but I just explained the technique that I may use next week. Mega cap is one pocket, but market is so oversold, it is getting less bearish, more bullish. I would like to look for some buy candidates, get ready to buy them. So let's try to find a stock, and I will be more strict with my criteria. So let's do a proper top-down analysis. Go to the industries. And by strict, I mean that I could look for the strong industries or the most accelerating one, strongest or most accelerating. If I want to be restrictive, more picky, I could choose both. So I shift click on this smart smart action button. Now I have industries that are both the strongest as well as most accelerating. So in a way, they are all turnaround candidates. That is a lucrative industry for me. And let me drill down to S&P 1500 stocks to save time. Let's look for up stocks only on Friday. And again, I'll be more restrictive today. So instead of choosing one star that is either undervalued or high growth, let me choose 3 star that is both undervalued and high growth. Left with only 3 stocks. Very fast, isn't it? Very cautious approach. I am more restrictive in my findings in my stock selection. Only 3. Let's see if any of them have a trade setup. I look it up from QFinder. Only one has a trade setup, possible trade setup. I have not looked at the chart yet. Let's see this stock, Illumina. Before opening the chart, I can see it is at price extreme low. I like that. Why? Because these industries are turnaround candidates. The industries were also down, just now starting to go up very fast, so fast that it is not only most accelerating but also now one of the strongest. And that aligns with a stock that is at an extremely low price level. It has a squeeze move pattern. I like that. It has a possible breakout buy setup as well as trend following buy setup in daily at least. Now is the time to look at its charts. Illumina. Let's look at it using weekly daily, of course. ILMN. In the daily, it broke out very nicely of the triangle pattern. Prior to that, it hit jump thrust low, unsustainable low price. We don't have big move up 3. That would be even better. We have big move up 2 on Friday. But on Friday, when the market was overall weak, it had a nice bullish move, closed right near the high of the day with a bullish flow signal, though we don't have a trend following buy setup because the weekly checklist conditions are not met. So when I look at the checklist conditions on weekly daily both, it has a valid breakout buy setup with very narrow stop loss. And weekly has some encouraging signal. Once again, the bullish indecision cluster, not one cluster at the low, and the weekly candle closed right at the high of the week. I like all that. Before buying, what I would like to do now is check out the one page scorecard of the stock. Let's go to Illumina, ILMN. if you carry out the analysis, you would most likely find other buying candidates today. I would not like to short in this market, only buy, and there are probably other 360 degrees buy candidates. I will be happy to buy them if the market gives a little bit more bullishness next week. Let me end today's session here, shortened session. Thanks a lot for joining. I look forward to seeing you in my next session. Have a great weekend, and as I always say, as these live examples, my Twitter posts, my forum posts, I'm quite sure shows there is no reason not to do that. Trade profitably. Thank you.